Persian Festival of Nowruz. Nowruz is the Iranian New Year or Persian New Year. Historically, it has been observed by Persians and other Iranian peoples, but now it is celebrated by many ethnicities worldwide. It is a festival based on the Northern Hemisphere spring equinox, which marks the first day of a new year on the solar calendar. It usually coincides with a date between March 19th and March 22nd on the Gregorian calendar. The roots of Nowruz lie in Zoroastrianism, and it has been celebrated by many people across West Asia, Central Asia, the Caucasus and the Black Sea Basin, the Balkans, and South Asia for over 3,000 years. In the modern era, while it is observed as a secular holiday by most celebrants, Nowruz remains a holy day for Zoroastrians, Baha'is, and Ismaili Shia Muslims. For the Northern Hemisphere, Nowruz marks the beginning of spring. Customs for the festival include various fire and water rituals, celebratory dances, gift exchanges, and poetry recitations, among others. The first day of the Iranian calendar falls on the March equinox, the first day of spring, around March 21st. In the 11th century AD, the Iranian calendar was reformed by Omar Khayyam in order to fix the beginning of the calendar year. Accordingly, the definition of Nowruz given by the Iranian astronomer Nasir al-Din al-Tusi was the following: the first day of the official new year, Nowruz, was always the day on which the sun entered Aries before noon. Nowruz is the first day of Farvardin, the first month of the Iranian solar calendar, which is the official calendar in use in Iran and formerly in Afghanistan. The United Nations officially recognized the International Day of Nowruz with the adoption of Resolution 64-253 by the United Nations General Assembly in February 2010. The word Nowruz is a combination of the Persian words now, meaning new, and Ruz, day. The Shahnameh credits the foundation of Nowruz to the mythical Iranian king Jamshid, who saves mankind from a winter destined to kill every living creature. To defeat the killer winter, Jamshid constructed a throne studded with gems. He had demons raise him above the earth into the heavens. There he sat, shining like the sun. The world's creatures gathered and scattered jewels around him and proclaimed that this was the new day, Nowruz. This was the first day of Farvardin, which is the first month of the Iranian calendar. Although it is not clear whether Proto-Indo-Iranians celebrated a feast as the first day of the calendar, there are indications that Iranians may have observed the beginning of both autumn and spring, respectively related to the harvest and the sowing of seeds, for the celebration of the new year. Mary Boyce and France Grenet explain the traditions for seasonal festivals and comment, "It is possible that the splendor of the Babylonian festivities at this season led the Iranians to develop their own spring festival into an established New Year feast, with the name Navasarda, New Year, a name which, though first attested through Middle Persian derivatives, is attributed to the Achaemenian period." Akitu was the Babylonian festivity held during the spring month of Nisan in which Nowruz falls. Since the communal observations of the ancient Iranians appear in general to have been seasonal ones and related to agriculture, it is probable that they traditionally held festivals in both autumn and spring, to mark the major turning points of the natural year. Nowruz is partly rooted in the tradition of Iranian religions, such as Mithraism and Zoroastrianism. In Mithraism, festivals had a deep linkage with the sun's light. Among other ideas, Zoroastrianism is the first monotheistic religion that emphasizes broad concepts such as the corresponding work of good and evil in the world and the connection of humans to nature. In Zoroastrianism, the 7 most important Zoroastrian festivals are the 6 Gahamber festivals and Nowruz, which occurs at the spring equinox. According to Boyce, it seems that Nowruz was founded by Zoroaster himself, although there is no clear date of origin. Between sunset on the day of the 6th Gahamber and sunrise of Nowruz, known as Farvardinigan, and today is known as Farvardigan, was celebrated. This and the Gahambers are the only festivals named in the surviving text of the Avesta. Nowruz was an important day during the Achaemenid Empire. Kings of the different Achaemenid nations would bring gifts to the King of Kings. Nowruz was the holiday of Parthian dynastic empires who ruled Iran, 248 BC, 224 AD, and the other areas ruled by the Arsacid dynasties outside of Parthia. There are specific references to the celebration of Nowruz during the reign of Vologases I, 51 to 78 AD, but these include no details. Before Sasanians established their power in Western Asia around 300 AD, Parthians celebrated Nowruz in autumn, and the first of Farvardin began at the autumn equinox. During the reign of the Parthian dynasty, the spring festival was Maragan, a Zoroastrian and Iranian festival celebrated in honor of Mitra. Extensive records on the celebration of Nowruz appear following the accession of Ardashir I, the founder of the Sasanian Empire, 224 to 651 AD. Under the Sassanid emperors, Nowruz was celebrated as the most important day of the year. Most royal traditions of Nowruz, such as royal audiences with the public, cash gifts, and the pardoning of prisoners, were established during the Sassanid era and persisted unchanged until modern times. Before the collapse of the Soviet Union, Iran and Afghanistan were the only countries that officially observed the ceremonies of Nowruz. When the Caucasian and Central Asian countries gained independence from the Soviets, they also declared Nowruz as a national holiday. Nowruz was added to the UNESCO list of the intangible cultural heritage of humanity in 2010. Customs of Nowruz. House cleaning and shopping. House cleaning, or shaking the house, is commonly done before the arrival of Nowruz. People start preparing for Nowruz with a major spring cleaning of their homes and by buying new clothes to wear for the new year, as well as the purchase of flowers. Visiting family and friends. During the Nowruz holidays, people are expected to make short visits to the homes of family, friends, and neighbors. Typically, young people will visit their elders first, and the elders return their visit later. Visitors are offered tea and pastries, cookies, fresh and dried fruits, and mixed nuts or other snacks. Food preparation. One of the most common foods cooked on the occasion of Nowruz is samanu, samanak, somak, somalek, shumalek. This food is prepared using wheat germ. In most countries that celebrate Nowruz, this food is cooked. In some countries, cooking this food is associated with certain rituals. Women and girls in different parts of Iran, Afghanistan, Tajikistan, Turkmenistan, and Uzbekistan cook samanu in groups and sometimes during the night, and when cooking it, they sing memorable songs. Cooking other foods is also common on Nowruz. For example, sabzi polo with fish is eaten on Eid night, as are sweets such as nani no kachi. In general, cooking Nowruz food is common in every region where Nowruz is celebrated, and each area has its food and sweets. Typically, before the arrival of Nowruz, family members gather around the Hafsin table and await the exact moment of the March equinox to celebrate the new year. The number 7 and the letter S are related to the 7 Ameshasapantas as mentioned in the Zendavesta. They relate to the 4 elements of fire, earth, air, water, and the 3 life forms of humans, animals, and plants. In modern times, the explanation was simplified to mean that the Hafsin, 7 things beginning with the letter Sin, are sabze, wheat, barley, mung bean, or lentil sprouts grown in a dish; samanu, sweet pudding made from wheat germ; Persian olive, sinjed; vinegar, sirka; apple, seeb; garlic, seer; sumac, somak. The Hafsin table may also include a mirror, candles, painted eggs, a bowl of water, goldfish, coins, hyacinths, and traditional confectionaries. A book of wisdom, such as the Quran, Bible, Avesta, the Shahnameh of Firdausi, or the Divan of Hafez may also be included. Hafsin's origins are not clear. The practice is believed to have been popularized over the past 100 years. In Afghanistan, people prepare haftmua, 7 fruits, for Nowruz, a mixture of 7 different dried fruits and nuts, such as raisins, silverberry, pistachios, hazelnuts, prunes, walnut, and almonds, served in syrup. Konka is the traditional display of Nowruz in Azerbaijan. It consists of a big silver or copper tray, with a tray of green, sprouting wheat, samani, in the middle and a dyed egg for each member of the family arranged around it. The table should contain at least 7 dishes. In Iran, the traditional heralds of the festival of Nowruz are Nowruz and Haja Fairuz, who appear in the streets to celebrate the new year. Nowruz brings children gifts, much like his counterpart Santa Claus. He is depicted as an elderly silver-haired man with a long beard carrying a walking stick, wearing a felt hat, a long cloak of blue canvas, and linen trousers. Haja Fairuz, a character with his face and hands covered in soot, clad in bright red clothes and a felt hat, is the companion of Nowruz. He dances through the streets while singing and playing the tambourine. In the traditional songs, he introduces himself as a serf trying to cheer people whom he refers to as his lords. Koza and Kekel are two comical characters from Azerbaijan who appear in the streets to celebrate Nowruz. Koza is typically depicted as a plump, skinny man with a fake beard who can't grow facial hair and symbolizes the winter, while Kekel is a bald, fat man who symbolizes the summer, with his name literally translating to bald head from Azerbaijani. When Nowruz arrives, they play Kaz Koza, a traditional Azerbaijani Nowruz game, with the kids, paint eggs, sing songs, and often fight with each other, symbolizing the arrival of spring. Koza and Kekel have become one of the famous characters in Azerbaijani Nowruz traditions, gaining large amounts of attention and taking part in mainstream talk shows and movies. In the folklore of Afghanistan, Kamperak and his retinue pass village by village, distributing gathered charities among people. He is an old, bearded man wearing colorful clothes with a long hat and rosary who symbolizes beneficence and the power of nature yielding the forces of winter. The tradition is observed in central provinces, especially Bamiyan and Daikundi. In Kazakhstan, Kazakhs start the new year by cooking Nowruz koz, a traditional drink. Nowruz is largely considered as a potent symbol of Kurdish identity. The Kurds celebrate this feast between the 18th and the 21st of March. Kurds gather into fairgrounds mostly outside the cities to welcome spring. Women wear colored dresses and spangled headscarves, and young men wave flags of green, yellow, and red, the historic colors of Kurdish people. They hold this festival by lighting fire and dancing around it. In Syria, the Kurds dress up in their national dress and celebrate the new year. Let us know about your country. Is there an area in your country where people celebrate Nowruz? We hope you have enjoyed watching the video. Thank you.